Today's topic is going to cover online payment in control. The online payment feature, just to give you an overview, what happens is you send out an invoice to your customer. You email the invoice to your customer. On the invoice, there's an option to show a button that says Pay Online. So you email the invoice to your customer. They open it up. They click on the button to allow them to pay online. That's going to open up a web browser. In that web browser, it's going to open up something called a hosted payment page, and that's where they'll be able to put in their address information. They'll be able to put in their credit card details and then submit the payment. So what's going to happen then is they're going to get an email that the payment was successful. You'll get an email letting you know that there was a payment made, and the payment information is going to automatically update in control. So for these type of payments, you don't have to do anything after you send the invoice. Okay. Another little thing about online payments is that in the original spec document, the reason that we created this feature was mainly for paying off AR balances. As we released this feature back in August, and one of the things that our customers asked for once they got it was the ability to send out a deposit, send out the form and have someone post a deposit. We will be working on that. It's not out at the moment. It should be out probably beginning of January or before. But let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing that you'll need to do for online payments, you'll need to have version 5.7. Now this feature was released kind of in the middle somewhere, so if you have a version from earlier than June of 2016, you'll need to update. So 5.7 from June 16th all the way to today, all the way to 5.75, you're able to use this. This feature does require an account be set up with FreedomPay. Now, with that account, so whenever you talk to Ed, he'll go through this. So with the FreedomPay account, it allows you to do two things. Okay, it allows you to use the online payment feature. It also allows you to process credit cards in control. Okay, so the one sign-up fee lets you do those two things. Now, you can do one and not the other, or you could do both, or you could do neither. But I think you guys will like the online payment feature. So once you talk with Ed Moore from Capital Q, for Canadian customers, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so for Canadian customers, your contact is going to be Don Andrews with NextGen. Now, I'm still in the process of setting this up for Canadian customers, so it'll probably take me another 2 or 3 weeks before we can complete the boarding process with FreedomPay for Canadian customers. But U.S. customers, everything's good to go. So once you call Ed, you're going to fill out some paperwork. He's going to create an account in FreedomPay. He's going to email you a store ID and a terminal ID. So if we go into Control and we go to Setup Accounting Setup, over on the left, Credit Card Options. Now this screen's going to look a little different now than your screen. I'm using version 6.0, which is going to be released in the next couple weeks. So only for customers that are processing credit cards. So the information that Ed gives you, you're going to want to fill in your terminal ID and your store ID. Now the ones that display here are test, so if you try to use these, nothing's going to happen. And so let's go ahead and save this. Okay, and then we'll need to go. I noticed that this right here is it's telling me it's not authorized. So sorry. Down at the bottom, we need to enable online payments. And we need to put in a notification email and a reply to email. The notification email is just someone in your business that you want to be emailed whenever a customer posts a payment. This is typically going to be someone in accounting. If we look over to the right, Control automatically sends out emails to these people if these options are checked. So it's going to send it out to the order's invoice contact, the order's sell person, and to this notification email. You will want to go ahead and put something in there so that someone gets notified if there is an issue and the payment can't be made in Control. It's going to send an email to this person letting them know. So you definitely want to put in an email address there, and then go ahead and put in an email address here. This is just if someone replies to those emails, this is who it's going to go to. Okay, so go ahead and do that, and then click Save. The next thing that we need to do, so the setup is pretty easy. You put in your information, put in your email address. The next thing is we go to System Setup. Over on the left, now in 5.7, this option is going to be at the very bottom of this list. In 5.7.5, it's right underneath Document Management. You'll want to edit the Sirius Cloud Connector and enable the Sirius Cloud Connector, and then save. Okay, once you do that, you're able to use the system. So let's go and let's go find an order that doesn't. Yes.
Are these instructions or setup instructions going to be provided to us? Or should we
they
be
will.
writing all this stuff?
No, they will. So Ed's going to actually, whenever Ed gives you your store ID and your terminal ID, he is going to direct you to a wiki article that has all of this on it.
Okay, perfect.
The wiki article is going to tell you exactly what steps to go through. But I always like to show people in case someone just got their ID and they need help with it.
Sure, okay.
Okay, let's go take a look at an order. So we'll explore orders. Okay, and let's click, I'm trying to find one. This one right here is perfect. Okay. So digital prints for a new location on Burbank. If we go to the totals tab, we can see that our balance due, so our customer hasn't paid anything on this. So if we go to our, so what you would do whenever you're ready to send the invoice, you're going to come to your email, to your action toolbar and click on print. Now on the standard invoice, this option has already been added. If you use a custom invoice, we'll need to add the Pay Online button to your custom invoice. Or there's a second way you can do that, okay? So let's just open this up. So standard invoice, I'm going to select that. Okay, I have my email address at the top. So in here, what most customers, the customers that are using online payments, what they'll enter in here, you know, is something to let their customer know, you know, hi George, thanks for the recent order. We now have the ability for you to pay online, you know, follow this link. So what you can do is, I'm not going to write out the whole thing, but you guys, basically you'll say something and then say, click this link to pay online. So this is one way if you don't want to change your invoice and put the button on the invoice. This is one way to send the email where the customer can click on it, and you'll see it once we look at the invoice. It'll make sense. So if I go in and I add this order.payment URL, okay, that's a merge field. That's going to display the URL. You'll see it whenever I send the email. So the one thing that changed with the standard invoice is you have this option right here, hide online payment link. You're going to want to uncheck that because you want it to display. And then I'm going to email it to myself. I'm going to open my email on the other screen and pull that over to show you guys. Hello? Okay, sorry, I need to move that over. Okay, I am getting it right here. Okay, so I'm going to move this over so that you guys can see it. Okay, make sure you can see that. Yes, okay. So basically I just emailed it to myself, and in the body of the email you'll say something more formal than this, but basically this gives the customer a way to, they're going to click on this link and they're going to go to the website. That's one way for them to go to the website. The second way is whenever they open up their invoice, down at the bottom, right above the total section, there'll be a blue option that says Pay Online. You can kind of see the top of it there. So they'll click on this. So there's two ways to do this. You can give them, you can display, or you can do both actually, one or the other or both. You can display the URL in the body of the email, and or you can have this Pay Online button show on your invoice. Okay, now what they'll do is they'll come to this and they'll click on Pay Online. I'm going to open up another web browser, and we're going to go to that site. Because it's a test site, I can't, because I put test credentials in, I can't just click on the link like your customer would. So there's one little step I have to do to get around it. Okay, I'm going to pull this over so that you guys can see it. Okay. So you guys should see, so this is what we refer to as the hosted payment page, the HPP. This is something that Freedom Pay hosts, so they created it, they manage it, they change it. We're just using it for our customers. So in the hosted payment page, once your customer clicks the Pay Online button, they're going to come in here and they're going to enter in their information, their address, and they'll enter in their credit card details. And these are fake ones that I'm using. Okay, and then they will submit. They're going to see a progress, success web page. So it says success, it's got your logo, your company information, and then it details out what's on the invoice, and it gives them a receipt basically. So from this screen they can print it or they can email it. They need to email it to someone. In the meantime, you and the salesperson will have also gotten an email. So let's go ahead and just take a look at that email. It's nothing really fancy, it just lets you know that you have a payment. So here's what that email is going to look like. So it's going to have your company name, online payment received. It gives you your information, the order, the company, the description, and then the fact that they paid. Now, right now, there's nothing that you need to do in Control. Let's go back to Control and let's just take a look. Did I close Control? No, there it is. Okay. So we sent it out. So 1082, if we go to our Payments tab, we'll see that the payment has been posted and there's no longer a balance due on the order. So all that you would do is send out the invoice, and then the customer puts in their information and it automatically posts in Control. Now, as you just saw the process, there's no way for me to send out, let's say I had 3 invoices for the same customer. I can't bunch those together and send out one email and have them put in their credit card details one time. They would have to do that for each individual order. Now, there's several things that you can do with this feature. So what one of our customers did was on the company record, because there's going to be some customers, and a lot of times it's based on the payment term. There's some customers that you're going to want to send this to, and there's some that maybe they pay you by check, and you would rather them continue paying you by check instead of paying the credit card, the processing fees on the credit card transaction. Okay, if that's the case, whenever you go to print out or email this report, you just wouldn't show the Pay Online button. So you can do that. You could set up a company UDF that tells you to display the payment button. You could do that on the order, or you could do it on the invoice, like we have here. There's multiple ways that you can do this. You know, if you always want it to show for walk-in type customers or for cash customers, you can do that. Or maybe it's the net 30 customers or the net 40, someone with terms that you want. You can have the system automatically display the button whenever you want. So right now, this will be changing in the future, but right now, if I needed to void this, I would void it just like a regular payment. So I'd right-click on it, void it. It's going to ask you for the credit card details, though, so you'll have to put that in. But that part of it is the same as any payment that you make now. Okay. Any questions? That's pretty much the feature.
So what you're saying is it's limited to one invoice at a time.
Correct.
And the customer can't save their information for future use.
That is correct.
Mm-hmm. So, but you had said earlier that you said this was originally thought of for paying AR statements?
Yes, for paying AR, or just AR balances or order balance due on orders.
But not the whole, like if they have, like usually AR statements have multiple invoices on them.
Correct, right.
So could the button go on to the AR statement and pay all of the invoices on one statement?
You could put the button on the AR invoice, but it would be a separate button for each order. So that's probably not what you want. For smaller customers, maybe that just have one or two invoices, that would work. But you know, you don't want to send out a statement with 10 invoices and have the customer have to put in their information 10 times.
And I guess the only other hope I would have is, can they put in their credit card information to send it to me so that I can run all their invoices?
Okay. So right now, remember at the beginning of the call, I said whenever you create that Freedom Pay account, it's going to allow you to do two things. It's going to allow you to process online payments, which is what we just did. The second thing is it's going to allow you to, you'll be able to save the credit card in your system on the contact record and use that card again for future orders.
Okay, that's great.
But that's only if you're processing credit cards inside of Control.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else? No additional questions?
Oh, I have some questions.
Okay.
Obviously not related to that, separately.
Okay.
Just a second, sorry. So I'm trying to set up a liability account, and so I set it up in the accounting setup, but I can't post to it in a journal entry, and I can't post to like new expense accounts. So clearly I'm missing a step, and I don't know what it is.
Okay. Is it Sherry?
Yes.
Okay. Would you mind if I get all of the questions for online payments? It's just that I'm recording this. So I'll do that, and then I'll come back to you once I'm finished with those. Is that okay?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So does anyone else have any questions for online payments? If not, you guys can stay on the line, or you can drop off if you need to.
Lori, it looked like the credit card, the actual account, the numbers are on that receipt. Will that actually show to the customer and to us? Will we see their credit card information?
You're going to see the oh, okay. So let me open up the screen that you're talking about, because I know this one, I think. Yes, so this right here. Correct? Is what you're referring to? Yeah, that's going to show. Now, This is completely, Control isn't storing the credit card details in the database in this version that we're on right here. So this is the credit card information, but it does block out, this is, as far as PCI compliance is concerned, this is legit.
It is, okay.
I had the same question too. I was like, wow, that's a lot of numbers that it's showing. We could change this to just show the last 4, which I would probably want to do that. But yeah, as far as PCI is concerned, this is legit.
Okay. And then also in the documentation we got, it says we need to be on 6.0 in order to do this online credit card processing. Is that not accurate? Okay. Is it 5.5?
No, that's accurate. So it's a little bit confusing because there's the 2 features, online payments and then processing credit cards. Online payments, we finished that, we completed that in early, June, July, or something like that. And because we knew customers were wanting to use it, we went ahead and released that. So online payment is available in that June release of 5.7. Okay. As far as online credit card processing, in the version that you have, if you're processing credit cards, you can continue to use that. At the end of the year, that's where we're going to make that change, and we're going to have to move all of our credit cards from our control databases to FreedomPay's vault. That feature is what's going to be in 6.0. So I'm testing. We're going through some testing phases right now with Control 6.0. We'll do another couple weeks, and then probably the first week of December, we'll let customers that are processing credit cards only have access to that version. So 6.0 is going to come out the first week of December, but that'll only be for customers that are currently processing credit cards inside of Control.
Okay.
So what you're referring to, like the letter that you guys probably got recently or the emails that you've gotten, it does say 6.0, and that's, let me just show you real quick here. Let me go to a new order. Okay, so in 6.0, your payment screen is going to look different. So this right here is what changes in 6.0.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that does look very different.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Anything else?
Well, so how do we go about providing a credit or a refund on a credit card then? You're saying when you're posting it or when they go online and make a payment, it saves in the company contact?
Okay, so today, if you had online payments today, the answer would be that you would void it just like you would a normal transaction, but you would have to get the credit card details from the customer to enter in. So you have to come here and go to new credit card and put in the information. And whenever 6.0 is released, that's going to change some because you'll have the ability to save the token for this credit card. We're moving to a tokenization system with credit cards so that the actual credit card isn't stored in the control database. A token, which is kind of just a fake number, really, but it corresponds to your credit card. You'll be able to come here and save the credit card that was used. So in 6.0, whenever you come here and void it, you'll just go void, and then you won't get the screen right here saying that the credit card information is not stored in the system. You'll just be able to click void, and then it's going to ask you what your reason for the void is. You'll enter that in, and then the order will be voided.
Okay,
Does that answer your question?
Well, I'm just wondering, I've got a system a lot of times with our custom products, what have you, that a customer will call last minute and say, oh, hey, can you expedite shipping for me? And initially they paid for ground, and now I've got to charge them for next day air. So do I need to send them the invoice again and have them pay the remaining balance on it, or is that something that I can then do internally through control? Will it save the credit card into the under the contact name so I can just do the process for them?
Yes. So the customer, there's two ways that we haven't figured that part out yet. There's two ways that we could do this. Whenever the customer goes to the HPP to put in their credit card details, we can prompt them and say, hey, do you want to save this credit card on file? That's one way to do it. The second way is if there's a credit card that you want to save, you're going to be able to come here, right-click on it, and then there'll be an option to save the credit card token on the contact file. So in your case, you'll come here to the order, you'll right-click on the payment and save the credit card as a token. And that's going to allow you to, whenever you edit the order, you're going to change your shipping information. That's going to put a balance on the order, and then you would just go and process a payment like you normally would for that balance.
Okay.
Okay. Anyone else?
Yeah, how about the closing of the day in 6.0, and how is that set for a certain time? Because you can't really control if people are doing online payments, what time their cutoff is
right.
for getting a payment in.
Okay, so during the boarding process, whenever you contact Ed and you go to sign up for Freedom Pay, he's going to ask you what time do you want the official end of day time to be. It starts, I think you can do it as early as 9 p.m., but if you wanted to do it later, you could. And then that's really going to mark, so with the batches, credit card batch settlements, in Freedom Pay and Control 6.0, that's going to be done automatically. So you won't have to close the day to close out your creded card batch. There'll be two separate things.
Oh,
but you won't actually have to do anything because you set up the time whenever you, through the boarding process, every night at 9 o'clock or whatever time you select, it's going to automatically close out your credit card batch.
Okay, then we still manually close the day?
You would, yes.
Okay, and then so is that credit card batch settlement part, are the reports of that part of when we close the day, or when it settles and closes, is it one report?
It's going to use the day that you close out. So what I would probably do is create your daily closeout as a macro. So if you set your settlement batch, your credit card batch to close out at 9, I would probably make a macro. You don't have to do that. I would probably make a macro that also automatically closes my day at 8:50 or 9 o'clock or whatever time, somewhere around there. Or maybe 9:05. Yeah, you'd probably want to do a little bit after, so that your numbers are matching.
Okay.
Anyone else? Okay, so no more questions for online payments?
Do you think that in the future there might be an update to pay multiple invoices online with one?
Yeah, what I see the future of this feature being is basically a combination. Are you familiar with WebView, our customer, where your customer can go online and see their estimates and their invoices? You ever heard of WebView? Okay.
What is it, WebView?
Yep, WebView. So we have a customer portal, I guess. That's what some companies call it, where your customer can log in and they can see a history. So they can see, all of their estimates for, I think, a certain time period, all of their invoices. You can see closed invoices. You can see open invoices. You can see the tracking number on the orders. You could see the balance due on the order. So it's just basically an order and estimate listing that your customer can log in and see. What I would really like to see is the online payment feature, or that button that we talked about that you click on the invoice. I would like to see that that functionality move to WebView so that a customer can log in. They can, select their 5 orders that they want to pay, click, 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 and then pay it one time.
Okay.
That's really where I think that would advance the feature, but that isn't, unfortunately, that isn't in our near plans to do.
All right.
But I do think at one time, I do think you'll be able to do that.
All right.
Okay. Anyone else? Any more online payment questions? Okay. I'll go ahead and